Welcome to this brief introduction video of IT education. This demo contains a high-level view of the student overview page with a variety of self-service, an in-depth demo of course planning and approvals, and a view of functionality used by an advisor on a mobile device. The overview page functionality is available for all roles, applicants, students, advisors, etc. Each user can decide which set of cards to display and in which layout. Of course, all self-services are adaptive and work on any type of mobile device too. Let's have a look at the process of completing an application form by an applicant. After creating an account on the system, the applicant uses the interactive form to apply. Follow-up questions, required documents, and the workflow which will be started later all depend on 3 questions. Who are you? What have you already studied? And what do you want to study at our university? In IT education, we have added a wide range of options on these forms, a workflow dashboard, many reports, automated reminders, etc. After completing the initial questions, the applicant is presented with a next set of questions. These are fully dynamic and will depend on the previous answers. The university can maintain these forms via the form designer. In IT education, we have added the option to upload specific documents, charge and pay application fees, etc. The applicant can continue this process in one session or log off and return a few hours later or the next day. Reminders will be mailed automatically after a preset number of days. Let's have a look at some of the self-service for students who are already registered at our university. All the terminology used on these screens can be adjusted by changing master data. For example, some institutions will use the word courses while others want to use modules. This can be adjusted without any coding. Students can book courses or modules based on the rules that are configured. In IT education, we added a large set of possible rules used by institutions from around the world. Whether or not students have to book their own exam sessions or have a choice on which day they want to take classes, all flavors can be accommodated. In this example, students have only one option for an exam date and time, but they have to decide themselves if they want to register for the exam or not. This course has 2 sections. One on Friday morning and one on Friday afternoon. How dates and times are shown as a user setting. Especially on a campus with international students and staff, users can use the notations they are most familiar with. Rules are available which determine when courses can be booked, added, dropped, etc. Of course, we added a wide range of rules for co-requisites and prerequisites. Later in the demonstration of the course planning, you will also see those in action. Requests can be made to substitute certain courses, ask for a deferral, or to ask for permission to book courses outside the standard curriculum. Rules have also been added to limit the number of attempts or resets. All users have a live view on students' progress. All published results, substitutions, and grade changes are visible after they have been released. This way, everyone has the same insights at all time. The degree audit is updated after each relevant change in the data. GPAs are calculated on the fly. Let's log off as a student and log on as a professor who has to enter the grades after an exam has been graded. The staff member has a similar overview page with a set of self-service. All these are role-based and provide access to those courses, tasks, students, or workflows which are relevant for this specific user. This specific user is teaching 3 courses this semester. He can enter the results directly on the screen or choose to download an Excel file which can be completed offline and then uploaded later. Other forms are available too. For example, a list of registered students or attendance sheets. Attendance can also be tracked via another self-service screen. The options to download and upload these files are available at the bottom of the screen. Let's log off as a professor and log in as a student who needs to submit a course plan for his study. Of course, not all students are required to do so, but some institutions want to advise students on the best planning to ensure a higher success rate.
With individual study routes, you can truly make IT education your own. I'll show you how easy and flexible it is from the student dashboard. Here I can access everything I need for my university journey, including my personalized study route. For this example, I'm enrolled in international business, and the system has already created a draft of my study plan, but I want to customize it to suit my interests. I can see the course is divided into 3 years, with different options for each year. For the first year, the mandatory modules are already booked for me, but I can add more if I want to. If I want to learn more about any of the modules, I simply click on them to see more details. Handy. For the second year, I have to choose between 2 pairs of electives. I can simply click the Add Modules button and select the ones I like. This way I fulfill one of the requirements and I can submit my choice later. For the minor requirements, I have to choose one minor from a list of options. I think informatics sounds interesting, so I choose that. The system automatically enrolls me in the relevant modules. But what if I change my mind? No problem, I can switch to law instead, but then the system will remind me that I can only have one minor. I decide to stick with informatics after all. For the third year, I have complete freedom to choose any modules I want, even outside the curriculum. The system will show me some recommended modules and some outside curriculum options. I can choose from a wide range of modules offered by the institution, not just those from my course. I can also apply for up to 2 majors in my third year. Alternatively, I can opt not to follow any of them if I want to choose more modules from different places from within the university. I can communicate with my study advisor through a convenient comments field, for example, to ask what are the module differences in accounting and finance? Or if I need to show that I meet the requirements for any cross-institution modules, I can even upload some certificates or documents or motivation letters. I don't have to do my study plan in one go. I can, of course, save it as a draft and come back to it whenever I'm ready. When I am ready, I just click Submit and wait for the feedback from my study advisor. They will either approve the plan or suggest some changes or additional information. So what does that look like from the study advisor side? As a study advisor, you can approve your student study routes with ease using the Maintain Study Routes app. Here, as a study advisor, I've got a notification that a student has submitted a study route for review. If I click on that, I come through to the app, and I can filter on submitted study routes to see all the students who are awaiting approval. What's also handy is I can filter on whether a new comment has been made, so I can quickly communicate with all of the students. The app lets you view all the submitted, proposed study routes and their details, such as electives, modules, comments, and attachments. You see essentially the same thing as what the students saw when they created their study routes, and you can check if they meet the requirements. You can reply to their comments, or look at their attachments. If you're satisfied with their study route, you can simply click on Approved to move it to the Approved section. This doesn't have to be done on a per student basis, of course. It can also be done en masse through the list, where you can tick them. So if I have looked at all of these students' study routes and I want to approve multiple ones in go, I can click on it here and I can proceed. The study route for each student has now been approved. And if we go to filter on the approved status, they will show up there. Another nice functionality is that you can help your students plan their modules and book them. Because each student is obviously going to have a slightly different timetable. So for example, I have all my mandatory modules from year 1. If I'd added any more in my study route, I would see them here as well, and I can drag and drop them into the relevant periods. When I click on them, I can choose whether I intend to take the lecture and tutorial, and I can go to the My Modules app to book any assessments. You can see that the Maintain Study Routes app for both students and study advisors is a convenient and efficient way to manage the students' study routes and help them achieve their academic and career goals.
To conclude this short overview of IT education, we have logged in as an advisor via a mobile device. One of the features available here is called My Student Groups. These could be groups of advisees, students in second year in law school, or any other group connected to this advisor. A subset of the information on these students is made available. The advisor has a live view of relevant data. Which data is shown is fully configurable since not all data is relevant for each type of advisor. In this demo, we can see personal data such as address data and information on disabilities. A very good example of data which may be relevant for some users, but not for others. Besides scrolling through the data, other data is accessible via the buttons at the bottom of the screen. Just like the student which logged onto the system in the first part of this demo, the advisor also has a live view on results and the degree audit. This concludes this brief overview of functionality of IT education. The added features, rules, workflows, etc. are seamlessly integrated with SAP Student Lifecycle Management in S/4HANA.